Hey guys, in this video, we will show you how to easily find support and resistance levels, as well as some advanced techniques we use that will take your trading to the next level. Also, we are back in full force, and we will be releasing a ton of new content, so make sure to hit the subscribe button and to turn on the notifications bell so that you know exactly when new content is released. So again, the number one question we always get asked is how to find support and resistance levels. Also, right now, comment below on what topics you want us to cover, and we'll work our best to create those videos for you. So first, with the basics, what is support and resistance exactly? Support and resistance is areas where price has reacted to in the past and can potentially, keyword potentially, react to again in the future. Now, why do we have to draw in support and resistance levels? We draw in support and resistance levels because once price gets back to these levels, there are possible trade opportunities that arise. And you want to have these levels drawn in already as a reminder to look. Now, there is specific criteria we look for in order to identify support or resistance levels, which we are going to list for you right now. 1. We look for the extreme swing highs and swing lows, meaning the highest and lowest points that price has reached in recent time. 2. We like to look for multiple rejections of an area. The more rejections, the better. 3. We want the level to be obvious, meaning it jumps right out at you. Again, to make this clear, the level should be obvious and it should jump right out at you, meaning you should be able to spot the level right away when looking at a chart. 4. The move away from the area was drastic. 5. The level has acted as both support and resistance, meaning it was respected from both sides. 6. The level was recently respected or formed in a recent time period. Now, this is a very key point. You don't need all the criteria we just listed to make a level support or resistance. But the more criteria that the level fulfills, the better the level. So let's jump into the charts and break down each of these traits. Now, we're going to go through each of the traits we just listed, but more in depth on the charts. So starting with trait number 1, that will qualify a level of support and resistance, which is the extreme swing highs and swing lows, meaning the highest and lowest points that price has reached in recent time. So we look left and you notice price came up, hit and reversed. And this was the highest point that price got to, making it an extreme swing high. Now, same along the bottom. Price came down, hit and reversed, and this was the lowest point that price got to in recent time, making this a level of support. As always, we don't jump into trades blindly, regardless of how high or low price is. We always wait for price action. So, to the next trait we look for. Now, trait number 2 that qualifies a level as support or resistance is multiple rejections. And the more rejections, the better. As you can see, price came down to this area on 4 different occasions, and each time it got here, it reversed, giving us 4 rejections and a level of support. So why is this important? Multiple rejections shows that price reacted to this level more than once, meaning traders took action at this level during different points in time. Now to the next criteria we look for. Trait number 3 is very key. The level should be obvious, meaning the level should jump right out at you, and you should be able to spot them right away. So here in the pound yen, you can see the very obvious levels. Price came up, hit and reversed, giving us a clear level of resistance. And again, it is very obvious and you can spot it right away. Same along the bottom. Price came down, hit and reversed again. This is very obvious and you can spot it right away. In contrast, here are some minor levels that are not obvious. To the left, you have this minor level here that is not obvious. And then you have this next minor level here that is also not obvious. Minor levels are useful for intraday trading, which we will get into in a future video, but for now, focus on the obvious levels. So why is this important? The more obvious the level is, means that more traders will be eyeing the level, which increases the probability that traders will be taking action at these levels, as in closing or opening positions. Now to the next criteria. Trait number 4. The move away was drastic and significant, meaning not just a small bounce, but an actual reversal. As you can see down here, price moved away from this level drastically, so we have a level of support here. Next, right here, price again moved away from this area drastically, so we have another level. And again up top, every time price came up, it reversed drastically, so we have another level. So to the next criteria. Trait number 5. The level has acted as both support and resistance. As you can see, every time price got to this level of support, it reversed, before finally it broke through and came back up. The support turned to resistance, and it hit and reversed again, showing that this level acted as both support and resistance. So, to the last trait. Trait number 6. Recently respected or recently created, meaning traders took action at the level in a recent time period. As you can see, we had 3 rejections of this area of resistance, meaning it is still valid in a current time period. If you look further back, you also have a swing high up here, but the recent rejections are always more effective, as they are current and new. Now, before we continue, if you are enjoying this video and want us to continue to make more videos week after week, please hit the thumbs up button, and also leave some comments below to show your support. Let us know your thoughts, as well as what kind of other videos you want to see, and we'll work our best to make them. So now that you know what criteria to look for, let's put it all together and apply what we just showed you and start plotting all the support and resistance levels right on the charts. Again, as a reminder, you don't need all the criteria we listed to make a level support or resistance, but the more criteria that the level fulfills, the better the level. Now, starting from the very top, we spot this level at the very top where price came up, hit and reversed from, so we draw it in. So what criteria does this level have that we previously listed that makes this a good level? Let's break it down. 1. This level is the extreme swing high, meaning it is the highest point that price has reached in recent time. 2. The level is obvious and it jumps right out at you, and you should have spotted it within seconds. 3. The move away was drastic, because as you can see, price reversed significantly after it got here. And 4. There were multiple rejections of this level, because if you look closely, there were 3 smaller rejections of this level. This is also what you can call a triple top. So, moving on down. Now the next level we spot is this level here, with 6 rejections. Rejection 1, rejection 2, rejection 3, rejection 4, rejection 5, and rejection 6. So again, what traits and criteria does this level have that makes it a good level? 1. There are multiple rejections of this level, a total of 6 rejections. 2. This level has acted as both support and resistance. 3. The level was recently respected, meaning it is still valid in a current time period. 4. The moves away from this area are drastic. And 5. The level is fairly obvious, as you should have been able to see the reversals from this area very quickly. Now, moving on down, we spot the 3 rejections here and draw in another level. So again, what criteria does this level have that makes it a good level of support? 1. It is the extreme swing low, meaning the lowest point price has reached in recent time. 2. There were multiple rejections of this level, 3 in total. 3. The move away was drastic because as you can see, price reversed significantly when it got here. 4. The level is obvious, as you should have easily spotted it when looking at the chart. And 5. It was recently respected and occurred in a recent time period. So there are other minor levels in between, but again, for this video, we want to keep things simple and focus on the key levels first. Again, as a reminder, just drawing in support and resistance levels does not mean you take trades blindly once price gets to these levels. You always need to wait and look for price action patterns. So let's do this again on another pair. Here's the Euro Swiss, and again, starting from the top, we notice this level here where price came up, hit, and reversed from, so we draw it in. So again, what criteria does this level satisfy? 1. It is the extreme swing high. 2. The move away was drastic. And 3. The level is obvious. So moving on down to the left. We notice this level here where price came up, hit, and reversed from, so we draw it in. The criteria that this level satisfies is that the move away was drastic and the level is obvious. So moving on down to the right, we spot this level here where price came up, hit, and reversed from, so we draw it in. The criteria that this level satisfies is that the move away was drastic and the level is obvious. So moving on down, we spot this next level here, so we draw it in. This is a very key level because it encompasses a lot of the criteria we like to see. Remember, the more traits a level has, the better. So 1. There were multiple rejections of this level. 2. The level acted as both support and resistance. 3. The move away was drastic. And 4. The level is obvious. So moving on down to our final level. We notice this level here where price came down, hit, and reversed from, so we draw it in. Again, what criteria does this level satisfy? 1. It is the extreme swing low. 2. There's more than one rejection, 2 in total. 3. The move away was drastic. 4. The level is obvious. And 5. It is recent, meaning it was respected in a recent time period. Now, you have all your key levels drawn in. Now, let's continue building on what we just learned. So another question we always get asked is how do you know when to draw in lines or zones? So here is the dollar yen. Along the top, you should be able to spot this key level of resistance here. Now, the concept we're about to show you also helps solve another debate that most traders have, which is, do you draw in lines at the candle closes or do you draw your lines in through the candle wicks? So there are 3 ways to draw in your lines for this top level here. So the first way would be to draw in a single solid line, which works well when you can get all the reversal points touching the line. The second way would be to draw in multiple lines to accommodate for all the candle closes. So you have this candle close here, 1 line. Candle close, another line. Candle close, another line. Candle close, another line. And so forth. Now, the problem with this method is that it is messy, which can end up confusing you as a trader, and is also why we always want to keep our charts as clean as possible. So this brings us to our preferred method, which is drawing in zones like this. This way, it accommodates for the entire area, encompassing both candle closes and wicks. Now, here's the most important point. And make sure you remember this. It doesn't matter whether you draw in lines or zones. Either one works. because you still treat these lines and zones of support and resistance as areas, meaning you are looking for price action to occur in the general area, not at a solid number, line, or zone. So moving on down, we spot this level here and we draw in a zone like this. Now you are probably wondering, why did we not accommodate for this point here? So here's a pro tip. Don't draw in massive zones. Draw in a smaller zone that accommodates for the most amount of touches and points. Because let's say you were to draw this big zone here to accommodate for this low here. 1, it looks terrible, and 2, you'll end up confusing yourself with such a large area, as it gets even worse once you start using multiple time frames. So instead, we opt to create a smaller level that accommodates the most levels that it can touch. And then this point here will be deemed a false breakout. We will dive deeper into false breakouts in another video, but the name is self-explanatory because you see this big momentum candle that breaks through support and assume that it will continue lower, but it ends up reversing drastically and faking out all the short sellers. Hence why you see such a big candle that followed the breakout candle. Now we use time frame confluence to get around false breakouts, but that is something we will discuss in another video. And finally, at the very bottom, you have your swing low, and we just draw in a line. So as you can see, you have a nice clean chart with your key levels, not 100 lines. Again, there are other minor levels in between the levels we have drawn, but for the sake of this video, we're keeping it simple. So let's jump to one more example. Here's the CAD yen. We had a swing high level up top here, and you can draw in 2 lines to accommodate for the candle closes. Again, we prefer drawing zones, so we would do it like this. Moving on down, you have this next level here, and again, you draw in lines like this. Or, again, create a zone like this. Next, you spot these rejections here. Again, we choose the zone. And finally, at the bottom, so if you enjoyed the video and want us to continue to make more videos week after week, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. And also in the comment section, let us know your thoughts and tell us what kind of topics you want us to cover, and we'll work our best to create more videos for you. Also, if you want more free videos and content, head on over to our website at wisetrade.com to get access for free. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.